What's up everyone, my name is Jack, I make videos about all things tech, and today I wanted to talk about the iPad Pro and share with you some of my favourite accessories that I like to use with it. I've got some cases to show you, some stands, some USB accessories, a little bit of everything. And I'm also planning to do a video on my favourite iPhone accessories soon, so get subscribed if you want to see that. I'll put links in the description so you can check these out for yourself, and let me know in the comments any accessories that you use that you think I should check out next. So let's get right into it. So first up, I've got a couple of really cool accessories from MOFT. They recently sent me their new float Folio, plus their snap case too. And the reason I like these so much is how they work so well with each other, but also with Apple's own accessories like the Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil. At first glance, the Float Folio looks like any other folio. It snaps on magnetically and wraps around the iPad, but you'll notice there are these lines and slits and kind of grooves on the back and front, which are actually part of some really cool design. The whole Float Folio can fold out origami style in a single move into this raised up stand for the iPad that brings it much closer to eye level. How cool is that? It's really nice when you're using the iPad with a keyboard and mouse, or just playing some games with a controller, or just watching something at your desk while you're working. It actually has 3 stand modes in total. You can also fold it back into itself into more of a traditional iPad Folio, or flip the whole iPad down into drawing mode when you want a bit of a slight angle to do some sketching or drawing. The Float Folio comes in 3 colours, jet black, sienna brown and light grey. You can get it for a bunch of recent iPads like the 12.9 and 11-inch iPad Pro, the latest iPad Airs and the iPad Mini 6. It's made from this really soft and scratch resistant faux leather. These things seriously feel so good in the hand, and they have a really realistic leather grain texture up close. They look so premium on the iPad. And yes, it has magnets in the lid which work with the iPad's auto wake and sleep when you open and close it, with space still for storing and charging an Apple Pencil. And if you want some extra protection for the sides of the iPad, that is where the snap case comes in. This thing is super thin at just 0.1 centimeters. The iPad slides right in and it works perfectly with the Float Folio. There's also a holder for the Apple Pencil if you're worried about knocking it off. But what's really cool and unique is it has these 3 metal pins on the back that line up with the pins on the back of the iPad and the ones on the Magic Keyboard. And these act as a pass-through, so you can still have this case on your iPad and use the Magic Keyboard like normal. It doesn't block the smart connector. One of the common complaints that some people have about the Magic Keyboard is the lack of protection on the sides. It's not something that bothers me that much personally, but for anyone that it does bother, the snap case basically fixes that. And because the case is so thin, the Magic Keyboard still closes flat just fine. You can get the snap case for the 12.9 and 11-inch iPad Pro models, as well as the newest iPad Airs. And just to mention the Magic Keyboard, this is my personal favourite keyboard for the iPad. I love the floating design. I find it a lot easier to use this for productivity than just the iPad on its own. It has an extra port on the side for charging through to the iPad, and you never have to charge the Magic Keyboard because it's powered by those pins on the back. It is so close to being perfect. The only thing that's missing for me is a row of function keys for quickly changing the screen brightness or volume, or just some basic media controls. I would also highly recommend that you check out the Logitech Combo Touch. I compared both of these back in one of my much cringier earlier videos where I said Logitech wrong literally every time that I said it. I don't know what I was thinking. I got a pretty good roasting in the comments. It was pretty funny. But yeah, the Combo Touch is a case and keyboard that attach together magnetically. It has a full row of function keys and a really nice big trackpad. And it's much cheaper too, over $100 or pounds less than the Magic Keyboard, and offers a lot more protection. But with the kickstand design, it's not as stable for lap typing, so that is something to be aware of. Next up, this is a really useful accessory to have. This is the 6-in-1 HyperDrive Hub. The iPad Pro only has a single Thunderbolt port on the side, and the HyperDrive is like the ultimate adapter. It slots right into that C port and adds a ton more ports, like a headphone jack for connecting wired headphones, a USB-A port for any older cables or tech, both an SD and micro SD card slot, which is great for offloading any photos or videos if you've been on a shoot with a camera or drone, a 60-watt USB-C pass-through port so you can still charge while using it, and that also does support data transfer. And finally, a 4K 60 HDMI port on the top if you want to use the iPad with an external display or TV. It's a super versatile accessory that turns a single port into 6, and you don't need to carry a bunch of separate dongles or adapters. It just does it all. And it's pretty small, so you can keep it in your bag and use it on the go. It has a nice snug fit on the iPad. It comes in space grey or silver colours to match the colour of the Pros. And it comes with this cable adapter, so you can even use it with your laptop and get even more use from it. The Apple Pencil is my choice of stylus. I like how it just snaps onto the iPad to charge. I use it for taking some handwritten notes or just jotting ideas down. And I actually use a couple of accessories with the pencil. This is the UPPERCASE NimbleStand and NimbleGrip. The stand is just a stand that sits on your desk, but the grip makes it a lot more comfortable to hold the Apple Pencil, particularly for writing or if you're using it for long periods. But you do have to remove it for charging. They both come in a load of different colours. I just went for black as that just fits my setup. I'm actually not that great at sketching or drawing, to be honest, but I have been practicing and getting better slowly at digital painting at least. And I actually painted the wallpaper that I'm using here on the iPad, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, along with the rest of the wallpapers in this set. I have 2 marble sets of wallpapers, which I have linked to below, and you can get 50% off both of them with code MARBLE50 at the checkout if you want to support me and grab these for yourself. They'll look great on all your devices. Next up, this little thing is the Satechi Apple Watch charger. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but this is a little charging dock for your Apple Watch that you can just carry with you and basically plug into anything with a USB-C port, like an iPad. Even if the iPad is stood up, the charger holds the Apple Watch in place magnetically, so you can get a quick top up while you're working. The battery on my Series 5 is getting on a bit now. In fact, it is less than 80% health, so it's definitely past its peak. I do find myself having to top it up at the end of some long days. And what's great about this thing is you can plug it into pretty much anything, a iPad, a Mac, a power bank, even directly into a wall plug, maybe even a future iPhone with a USB-C port. We'll have to wait and see. So one of the things that I love about the iPad is how versatile it is. I can use it just casually as a tablet on its own, or attach it to the Float Folio for an on-the-go stand, or the Magic Keyboard if I'm traveling and I want to have a physical keyboard with me for a lot of typing. But when I'm working at my desk, I like to use this. This is the Lab 22 stand for the iPad. The iPad snaps on magnetically, of course. It's got this metal unibody design, so it is super stable, which also helps when adjusting it. It has these free motion hinges, so you can tilt the iPad all the way down to desk level if you want to make some handwritten notes or do some sketching or painting, which is how I like to use it, or angle it anywhere in between, however you want. It's really smooth when adjusting, and the heavy base helps keep it steady on the desk. It's also great to use with Sidecar, which is built into macOS, and that lets you use your iPad as a secondary display for your Mac, and Universal Control, where you can drag the mouse cursor from your Mac to the iPad and quickly drag some photos or files back to the Mac or vice versa. Plus the iPad holder part rotates, so you can use it with the iPad in portrait, which I really like to do when I'm working on some long documents or PDFs. It's a great accessory for using the iPad in more of a desktop setup, which I have been finding myself doing a lot more lately, as Apple has been slowly adding more features to the iPad that are making it a more capable device. I went for the all black version, but it does come in silver too, and there are 2 sizes for the 12.9 inch and 11 inch iPads. Also, I'm a big fan of the industrial design, and you've probably noticed that there's also a 2-in-1 wireless charger and a headphone stand in the set that all match if you're looking for a complete desktop setup. Then to pair with the stand, I've been using this keyboard and mouse from Logitech. I've been using them for quite a while now, and you've probably seen them pop up in some of my other videos. This is the MX Mechanical Mini, specifically the Mac version. So you've got the command and option keys like you'd be used to on a Mac or iPad. The mechanical keys feel really precise and just nice to type on. They feel really tactile and responsive, and the keys have a nice height and travel to them, so if you're not someone that's a fan of Apple's super slim keyboards, then this might be a better option for you. You can pair this thing with up to 3 devices all at once and then switch between them by just pressing a button. You'll get up to 15 days use from it before you need a recharge, although to be honest it lasts me much longer than that, as I'm not using it all the time, and when I'm not using it I do switch it off. Or you'll get up to 10 months with the backlight turned off. And a quick 15-minute charge will get you a whole day of use. And this is the Logitech Pebble. This is not an all singing or dancing mouse. This is just a nice minimal modern mouse that gets the job done. And the reason why I got it is because number one, it's really affordable. And number two, it is really small and slimline and just easy to just chuck in a bag and then take with you on the go. And again, the battery life lasts ages. It takes a single AA battery that lasts up to 18 months. If there's any accessories I've missed that you really like, then let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see my favorite iPhone accessories, then hit subscribe and the bell to see that soon. And remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.